Welcome to today's video where we cover one of the most influential battles in ancient Greek history, the Battle of Platea. Now Xerxes had beaten the allied Greek force at Thermopylae and had made it to Athens where the city was decimated. However, he did have a tragic naval defeat at Salamis. This naval defeat destroyed any hope of the Persians being able to have a naval assault on the Peloponnesian Peninsula. After this defeat, Xerxes, accompanied by a portion of his great army, returned to Asia, leaving the great general Mardonius in charge. His role was to carry on Xerxes' conquest of Greece. The Spartans, as well as some of their Peloponnesian allies, aided the Strait of Isthmus to prevent the Persians' access into the Peloponnese. However, Mardonius and his army did conquer many smaller polis on his way. The Persians had the northernmost part of Greece basically completely under their control, and then they turned to the south. Mardonius and his army were camped near the town of Plataea in the region of Boeotia, across the Asopus River. Now, according to Herodotus, this army was made up of approximately 300,000 men. However, this is most likely exaggerated. Unlike at Thermopylae, Sparta was able to send a large force led by the now king Pausanias. Pausanias was Leonidas' nephew, and he took his spot as one of the two Spartan kings, as Leonidas' son was not yet old enough to take his place. The Greek force at Plataea consisted of approximately 40,000 hoplites and 60,000 auxiliary and skirmishers. However, these numbers are also sometimes given as 70,000 auxiliary, 35,000 helots, which were the Spartan working class, and 35,000 hoplites. The Greek force took their position atop a hill opposite the Asopus River. The allied Greek formation saw the Athenians holding the left flank, a collection of other polis in the middle, and in their position of honour, the right flank, the Spartans. With the Persians positioned behind a river and the Greeks on the high ground, several days passed with neither of the forces wanting to give up their strategic position. Eventually, Mardonius sent his ranged cavalry in an attempt to lower morale and fluster the Greek lines. However, this took a turn for the worse for the Persians, and the cavalry commander was killed, and this actually gave the Greeks more morale and more confidence and made them push closer to the river. And once again, a stalemate occurred, with the Greeks fearing another clash with the Persian cavalry in an open plain. Instead of choosing to fight the Greeks face to face, Mardonius sent his cavalry around at the cover of night to cut off the Greek supply line. With the Greeks now without food or water, they knew they had to pull back. However, as the army was made up of so many different nationalities of Greeks, the order went very disorganized, and the center of the army moved too far away from the left and right flank. Mardonius, seeing this chaotic maneuver, sent the Thebans, who fought on the side of the Persians, to fight in phalanx combat against the Athenians, while the rest of the Persian army went straight for the Spartans. The Persian cavalry smashed into the Spartan phalanx, however they were beaten back by the highly disciplined men. Then the Persian infantry advanced, being covered by their archers who were raining arrows down on the Spartans. Though the Spartans took few casualties from the arrows, they did charge down at the Persian infantry, using the hill to their advantage. Now, as a little fun fact here, this is actually the second ever recorded time that the phalanx ever ran into battle, the first being at Marathon. With their weight and force, the Spartans collided into the Persian infantry, and even though they were outnumbered, they still managed to put up a very good fight. Unfortunately, we do not actually know much of what happened during the fighting, except for Mardonius, who was courageously leading the front lines of his army on horseback, was supposedly killed by a Spartan throwing a rock at his head. With their general killed, the Persian army fell into complete panic, and many of them trying to retreat. Those who stayed and fought the Greeks were all cut down, and many who fled were too. At around this time, the Athenian phalanx also had managed to fight back the Theban phalanx, and the Battle of Plataea was won by the Greeks. Even though many people think of Thermopylae as being the most important battle in the Greco-Persian Wars, Plataea, I would say, would have to be the more important of the two. Though Thermopylae may have a more symbolic influence and has a more glorified tale, this final battle put an end to the Persian invasions of Greece for good, and also saved the rest of Greece from Persian occupation. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please feel free to check out the Battle of Thermopylae explained in 5 minutes, and please subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one. See ya!